The golden base of the Lunar Lander module rests in the gray dust of the Tranquility Sea. Why was the Moon's most famous place abandoned forever? The story of how this plain was chosen and the reason that kept subsequent missions away. On July 24, 1969, the Apollo 11 crew returned to Earth. They left behind scientific instruments, a nylon flag, and the spacecraft's lower stage. No human has returned to those coordinates since then. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's footprints remain intact in the dark regolith of the lunar surface. There's no wind on the lunar surface, no rain to wash away the boot marks. The silence around the lander's base is absolute and unbroken. The exact location is at latitude 0.67 north and longitude 23.47 east. It's a flat expanse marked by small craters and scattered stones. The instruments left there functioned for years, sending continuous data to receivers on Earth. But as the space program advanced, the destination that inaugurated interplanetary exploration was silently erased from all future flight maps. Grainy photographs of the lunar surface covered the planning tables in Houston during the 60s. The selection of the Tranquility Sea wasn't based on deep scientific curiosity. Space agency engineers needed one main characteristic: absolute safety. The first lunar landing was a critical test of navigation and survival. Science was a secondary objective. Uncrewed lunar orbiter probes mapped the region years before the main mission. The data showed a plain of solidified lava near the lunar equator. The chosen site needed a slope less than 2 degrees. It couldn't harbor craters larger than a house, nor dense rock fields that could puncture the module's hull. The Sea of Tranquility was the geological equivalent of an empty parking lot. The approach trajectory offered excellent visibility, with the sun at a low angle highlighting obstacles through the shadows. When the Eagle module began its descent, the computers almost guided them into a dangerous crater. Armstrong took manual control and flew beyond the rocky zone. He found a smooth stretch and landed with less than 30 seconds of fuel remaining. The flat plane fulfilled its purpose. The boot of the spacesuit sunk a few centimeters in the fine, dark regolith of that plane. During the 2.5-hour spacewalk, the crew collected 21.5 kilograms of rocks and dust. They used metal shovels and tongs to seal the samples in vacuum boxes. When these fragments arrived at terrestrial laboratories, geologists found pure basalt. They were igneous rocks, formed by the quick cooling of magma on the surface. Isotopic analysis revealed the age of that material. The basalt from the Tranquility Sea formed between 3.6 and 3.9 billion years ago. This measurement confirmed an ancient theory about the Moon's dark patches. The great lunar seas weren't oceans of dry water, but gigantic impact basins that overflowed with molten lava from the lunar interior. The magma filled the depressions, covered the ancient mountains, and cooled into a flat surface. The Apollo 11 mission provided the first absolute dating of another celestial body. Scientists finally had an anchor point in time. But the very uniform nature that made the landing safe also limited what else could be discovered there. But the basaltic plain where the module landed soon proved to be a geological dead end. Once you analyze samples from a continuous lava flow, the history of that region is essentially deciphered. Returning to the same sea of solidified magma would only bring more of the same basalt. What did the abandonment of that plane reveal about the violent history of the cosmos?
The space agency altered the risk profile of subsequent missions. Apollo 12 visited the Ocean of Storms for a precision landing. After that, the scientific focus demanded much more dangerous targets. Geologists wanted to understand what existed before lava covered the moon. Apollo 15 was sent to the Hadley Apennine Mountains, rugged terrain near a winding canyon. Apollo 16 landed in the Descartes Highlands. The last crewed mission, Apollo 17, navigated a deep, narrow valley called Taurus Littrow. The landing sites became progressively more complex, steep, and ancient. The safe parking lot was left behind in favor of the primordial scars of the solar system. The steep slopes and deep craters explored by the later missions held a different record. The rocks brought from the highlands weren't smooth basalt. They were breccias, fragments of different minerals crushed and fused by the force of colossal impacts. When laboratories dated these new samples, they found ages exceeding 4 billion years. The difference between the ancient mountain rocks and Apollo 11's younger basalt revealed an unexpected pattern. By comparing the data, scientists identified the late heavy bombardment. It was a chaotic period where massive asteroids struck Earth and the Moon with devastating frequency. The impacts tore open the lunar crust, creating the basins that later filled with the lava of the Sea of Tranquility. This timeline could only be constructed because we had contrasting samples. The Apollo 11 base served as geological ground zero. Without the precise dating of that flat lava, it would be impossible to calibrate the age of the oldest craters. The abandonment of the initial site forced science to seek the missing pieces in hard-to-reach regions. The Apollo 11 descent stage continues to serve as this silent ground zero. The Moon's most famous place was abandoned because it fulfilled its purpose with absolute perfection. It proved that landing engineering worked and delivered the fundamental age of the Moon's seas. Science demands the unknown, and the Sea of Tranquility quickly ceased to be a mystery, becoming an established foundation. Today, the site isn't an active laboratory, it's a museum preserved in the vacuum. In our next episode, we'll investigate why the Moon is fleeing Earth 3.8 centimeters per year. The laser reflector left by Armstrong continues to measure an orbital dance that alters the length of our days. A beam of light travels through the vacuum, touches a solitary mirror in the dust, and returns in the darkness.